All right, welcome to day number 5, where we are going to be talking about dreams. Now, let me ask you a question. Do you know what your dreams are? And let me explain that question. Not just, do you know that you want to see something happen someday, maybe somehow, but do you really know, can you articulate and identify the dreams that are inside your heart that if God were in a perfect world, you would see happen? And what I mean by that is it's important for you to be able to not just know that you have dreams, but it's important for you to be able to articulate your dreams. Because the more real that you make them to you, there's a lot of, not just benefits, that feels like the wrong word to use, because the byproduct or the strength that you get from the more detail you can do to access those dreams has so many benefits that it's hard to just use that word because it feels like it's downplaying the impact that that can make in your life. See, God wants you to have dreams, not just have them, but he wants to see your dreams come true even more than you do. But the problem is that it's really hard for you to see dreams come true if you don't know what those dreams are. If you haven't taken time to actually sit down and articulate and identify, really identify what those are for you, because they're different for everybody. Some people dream about something really big and grandiose, and others' dreams are just really simple. But if you don't take the time to find out what those are for you, and you're not going to really know when you're sitting in a moment where those dreams have actually come true. And let me explain what I mean by dreams. To be able to identify what some of your dreams are, take time today and think about, what would it look like? Like, what would the outcome be? What experiences would I have? What effect would I have in the people's lives around me when I am 100% fully alive? Like when I'm firing on all cylinders and I know that I'm in the sweet spot of what I'm doing and what I need to be doing in life, what's happening around me? Like, excuse me. And not just in that moment, but in a series of moments. What is my life looking like? What does it look like for my passions to be fulfilled? And how can I articulate those in a way that I can actually mark them when they happen? And that's the important thing, is that you identify them in a way so that when they happen, or a lot of times when you have moments with God in your life that surpass what you have marked, you actually get to taste the goodness of God. And the fact that there's a lot of dreams that are in your heart that you don't even know that you have right now, that aren't anything connected to your identity or your passion. I mean, all those are important, but they're nothing more than a kiss from God. Than him saying, yeah, I'm a good dad and I want to see that happen in your life. You want to see that happen? I want to see that happen too. But if you don't take time to identify that, it's hard for you to connect to those moments when they actually happen. So when you take time to write out your dreams, essentially what you're doing is you're creating a log that you can look back on. I don't know about you, but I journal. I journal a lot because, first, I just don't trust my memory. Second is there's a lot of journal entries that I have where I'll go back and I'll periodically read them. And I'm like, man, 3 years ago, I was praying for this, or I was feeling this, or I felt like God was speaking this. And that seemed too good to be true or to access. And here I am 3 years later, and I can't even imagine what my life would be like if those things actually happened, because I was hoping that they would happen in 15 years and they've happened in 3 or whatever it may be. You actually have a marker and a log to go back and to review those things that you have written down. So here's my challenge to you, and I have to give credit where credit is due. One of my pastors, Renee Evans, presented this, and she was speaking and said she was challenged to write out 100 dreams that you want to see happen in your lifetime. And my immediate thought was, oh, well, that's not my problem. I am a dreamer and I am a visionary, and I have no problem dreaming really big things or desiring things to see things happen in my life. So, but my problem is either being patient enough to see them fulfilled, to unlock what I feel sometimes is the mystery of being able to access them. Like, that's my problem. It's not actually dreaming. Dreaming's not my problem, Renee. My problem is in the execution of seeing those happen. But I accepted the challenge. I thought, you know what, 100 dreams? Okay, no problem. So I went home, cracked open my journal, and I thought, in everything that I'm saying, I'm going to catalog, I'm going to put a marker with these 100 dreams so that when they start to happen, I can go back and, wow, this happened, this happened, this happened, this happened. Well, as excited as I was about proving the fact that I was a visionary and a dreamer and I didn't have a problem with this challenge, I got to 34, and then I kind of hit a roadblock. And then I started to add some because it was just like, well, I guess I want to see that happen, and I want to keep trying to fill in this list because I've created a competition with myself. But it really struck me, the fact that how much me saying that I'm a visionary and me saying that I'm a dreamer and wanting to see things happen in my life, I've actually really reduced my dreams down because of maybe experiences that I have or disappointments that I've had to work through, or being more realistic and less dreaming with God. And all of a sudden, it was a big wake-up call that I basically got a third of the way through and hit a dead end. And so I would be curious to see where you're at with your dreams with God. And here would be your challenge for today, would be to sit down and write out, literally number 100, and write out what are those 100 dreams that you want to see happen in your lifetime. So this is both the small things, like I'd love to take a vacation to Hawaii, and then really big things like I want to build a ministry that activates and equips people in their identity that reaches 100,000 people. Like, both matter to God, and both of those are legitimate dreams that are in my heart as well as what's in your heart. So to take the time to write out those 100, and then because this has become a little community here and we're being open and vulnerable and encouraging one another, I'm loving seeing you guys comment and respond to each other's comments, is why don't you write down the top 10 that, and here's the challenge, is to write down the top 10 dreams that could only happen if God showed up in your life. That could, like, they feel almost unattainable now, but if God is the miraculous good God that he is, if he showed up, then those dreams could happen. Those dreams that almost feel too good to be true. Because here's what's important is, 1, identifying it here and identifying it here. 2, writing it down. But then 3 is actually sharing it and putting it out, something, extending it beyond just your inner world so that other people can partner with your dreams, can pray with you, can encourage you. And the more that you are putting out there and willing to risk, just like anything in your identity, but today's about dreams, the more that you're willing to risk sharing what those are, the more you're actually positioning your heart and yourself in a place where you're not doing it alone, you're not pursuing it alone. And then also, that way, when those things start to happen, you have a community of people that are celebrating with you. So today's about dreams. If you think you're a dreamer, then do the list of 100. And if you're able to knock out 100, then okay, great. I applaud you. And why don't you throw in the comments that you were able to do that you were able to just, like, Josh, this wasn't even a challenge today. I'm going to be genuinely surprised if there's anyone that is in this group that's able to just knock those out. Because again, it's amazing how nearsighted we become in our life with just wanting to overcome certain barriers or wanting to see certain things change. But when you ask yourself, what do I want to see happen in my lifetime? What dreams are in there? Then you may be surprised at how hard it is to come up with that list. So if you're willing, then do the list of 100 and let me know where you got, or maybe throw where if you hit a roadblock like I did at 34, what number did you get stuck on? And then 2, what are the top 10 things that are in your heart that you want to see happen, but could only happen if God really showed up in your life and came through? So that's what we have for today. And I look forward to seeing you guys tomorrow.